Very good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Flux Motorsport TV, live and direct here at a very wet and drizzly Nurburgring for the round 6 of the Flux Motorsport Touring Car Championship. We are actually at the sprint circuit for a bit of a change up compared to previous seasons, and as you can see, all drivers looking to try and get out early in the wet qualifying session. 20 minutes of qualification to come, followed by 45 minutes, with the rain not looking like it's going to ease off too much. But that is the qualifying session over. There's been no movement at all, so Wadge picks up his pole position for the Nurburgring sprint. Just bringing up my statistics now. I think that might be his first pole position of the season. It is indeed, so fair play to Wadge. He got it very early on and also made improvements on it. DJ Leggy does enough to secure second place on the grid, followed by Spankmeyer in third and the console in fourth. Jack de Menzies in fifth place, ahead of Mr. Ward, or Wardy as I'll be referring to him throughout the race. Then 74 Leggy in seventh place, just unable to try and get together that initial starting pace as DJ. Kovkarl in 8th position, ahead of Alaxon and Lecky in 10th. Pro Fubby in a surprising 11th place, just struggling to cope with these weather conditions. Deadly Hawk in the final of the BMWs in 12th place, ahead of Green Gaming, with Porsche Man in 14th, and Old Smoky making it up at the back of the grid. All eyes on DJ Leggy in that BMW, known to get away good. There is the green light and away they go. Looks to be a bit of a hampered start as he spins up the rear wheels, but the BMW always has the drive on the Renault Megane, so he steps up into first place. Wadge trying to fall back in line, maybe just going for that optimum line indeed as we head down into the first corner. Hopefully all the way clean. As we see, I think it was Wardy maybe coming together with Jack de Menzies. In fact, it would have been Spankmeyer as we see a big bit of contact there between Lecky, I think it was, in the Momo Corsa, and maybe Leggy. Does look as though they got through all right, just trading paint it seems. But we can also notice from that Old Smoky moving up 3 positions. As we see a big nudge there from Pro Fubby into the back of Lecky. Looks as though they've all kept it together, and it looks as though we've got a bit of a concertina going on. Wadge, meanwhile, has taken first position back from DJ Leggy. DJ Leggy's actually falling down into third, now fourth position. The console moving up on Jack de Menzies into second. So it's all go here at Nurburgring Sprint, exchanging position in just the first 2 or 3 corners. Big move there from, who was that? I think it was Wardy. Maybe just losing control, unable to make the brakes. Luckily managed to avoid all of the drivers, but that puts him down into 14th position. Huge mistake there into turn 1 from Wardy. Now on board with Old Smoky. Look how wet it is. Spray tails coming up all over the place, really hampering the vision of these drivers, but you can see in front that is Spankmeyer and Lecky duking it out for 8th position. And it looks as though Spankmeyer making a bit of a mistake, and that allows Old Smoky to move up into 9th position. Meanwhile, up near the front, Jack de Menzies is closing up, I believe, on the back of the console. Not too far away is DJ Leggy as well. 74 Leggy also benefiting from some of the mistakes that were made ahead of him. He's made up a huge number of positions from his qualification place, currently sitting in 5th place ahead of the DJ Leggy. Did look as though Kovkarl made a bit of a mistake there going into Haaghagen. Just caught it in the background, and that's allowed Pro Fubby momentarily to take 6th place. He's since taken it back, so those two really on for a duke-out battle, I think, today. The console runs a little bit deep there into Kazambindung, I think it's called. Into the hairpin. I'm just going to refer to it as the hairpin for the rest of this one. It is the only hairpin in this sprint circuit, but that has allowed Jack de Menzies to come through, holding onto it through Warsteiner. A little bit of a nudge maybe there, and the BMWs are hot on the tail, looking to try and perform in their native home country. Console looks as though he's going to try and hold on to the inside line here, coming up into the chicane. Is he going to be able to do it onto the brakes? He doesn't. He falls back in line. And that's just allowed him a little bit of breathing room for our current second place holder in the form of Jack de Menzies. Spankmeyer, I can't help but think he's maybe got a little bit of damage as we see a couple of retirements here. Not sure whether or not it was disconnects. I looked down on my telemetry screen for a second. It does look as though we've lost Deadly Hawk from the running order. Just trying to work out who else we've lost as well. Old Smokey, it seems, is also out of this. So Old Smokey's good run of form is definitely going to be hampered by a DNF. Disaster if it is a disconnection, as we see. Oh, bit of wild driving there from Spankmeyer. That's made him lose 2 positions as Green Gaming moves on through into 10th place. Lecky into 9th. 25 minutes to go then, or less than now, and it looks as though Wadge has pretty much got this one in the bag. He's got no airtime, so I do apologise to Josh for that. Unfortunately, when you've got such a prevailing lead, that is one of the products of it, as we see a quick exchange of second place there. Looked as though DJ Leggy had it hooked up through the arena, just ran a little bit deep into the final corner of the arena complex, and Jack Menzies just taking that place right back. You can see there the BMW avoiding that puddle on the apex. Does look as though the front wheel drive Renaults are able to pretty much plough through it without too much concern. Don't forget that you can catch highlight videos from all of our championships, brought to you by our very busy media team here, usually summarised in less than 15 minutes, just to try and catch up on the best of the action in a bit of a bite-sized summary. You'll be able to find those within all of the playlists for each of the championships. As disaster there for 74 Leggy. Maybe got onto the power a little bit too early. Spins the rear around, and that's going to cost him a couple of places. Let's see whether or not he's been able to get it back on track, and whether or not he's going to come under pressure from Kovkarl. Certainly going to be increased. I don't think there's any damage to 74 Leggy. Did just make a spin, and he did well to get the car facing the right way once again. Be sure to hit that subscribe button to the YouTube channel that you're currently watching us on, and also hit the notifications as well. Just be sure to make sure that you hit Do Not Disturb for the app so that you're not getting woken up if you're watching in the UK time zone at 1 PM for our Eastern Standard Time races. And disaster for 74 Leggy. Spins it round again, takes a little dink in the rear from the console as well on his way round. I think that was the same position as well, coming through the hairpin. And all of that hard work now amounts to naught, unfortunately, for 74 Leggy. He's got to try and pick his head up, though, and make sure that he doesn't come under pressure from Kovkarl. We see 74 Leggy moves up to the inside of the chicane, under braking. Is he going to get this one to stick? Looks as though he is temporarily, but how's the drive for the console? A big nudge as well there from the back of it. Looks as though the console, is he going to slow down? Looks as though he's not claiming any fault for that one. The console certainly thinks it's a racing incident. He continues to drive on, and 74 Leggy sees himself drop down into 7th position. Kovkarl and Al Axon moving up a place after that big spin. So Josh, aka Wadge, finishes the race in 1st place. He doesn't pick up a triple crown. He does get the pole position points though, so bonus points going over to him, as well as the race victory points, 35 on offer. Don't forget, DJ Leggy finishes in 2nd, with Jack Menzies in 3rd and the console in 4th. Kovkarl ends up finishing in 5th due to the 1 second penalty being applied to All U82, aka Al Axon. 74 Leggy loses out big time with that spin just outside the chicane. Finishes in 7th place, but still not a bad finish at all from the BMW. Pro Fubby in 8th position. It's a bit of a shock to us, but he really wasn't getting on well with this circuit in these weather conditions. Wardy ends up pulling off a bit of a recovery drive in the end for 9th place, ahead of 10th with Green Gaming. Porsche Man does enough for 11th place, ahead of Spankmeyer in 12th. And then Lecky, Old Smokey and Deadly Hawk retiring quite early on.